Hello, hi, I am Gary Bolton. I'm the president and CEO of the Fiber Broadband Association. And I wanted to spend a few minutes just to share an update from our second quarter 2021 results. At the second quarter of 2021 got off to a strong start with that White House briefing on the Americans' Job Plan that included $100 billion for broadband infrastructure as a means to finally bridge the digital divide and provide digital equity for all Americans. The president's plan aims to build future-proof, high-speed broadband infrastructure to provide 100% coverage. The Fiber Broadband Association took on the challenge to build bipartisan support for this broadband funding proposal, and we greatly appreciate our members' engagement during our Hill meetings over the past several months. A bipartisan group of senators reached an agreement with the president on the framework for an infrastructure package that will include $65 billion in broadband funding. While it's not the $100 billion initially proposed, this package is the single largest commitment of federal dollars ever for broadband infrastructure investment. While the details are changing on a minute-by-minute basis, we believe that at this moment, at least, the $65 billion funding package is broken down with $40 billion for broadband network construction, about $14 billion for the USDA RUS Reconnect program, $5 billion for affordability and adoption initiatives, and $6 billion for broadband financing programs. Again, these numbers are kind of a little bit fluid. A subset of senators is currently negotiating the final details of the broadband section of the infrastructure package, including which agency will administer the fund, whether it's NTIA or FCC or RUS, the network requirements, we've been pushing for 100 by 100 megabit symmetric service, and the authorization amounts. We expect there'll be no markup, and the language will be added into the Surface Transportation Bill when it's considered by the full Senate. The House will consider the package after the Senate. While the infrastructure funding works its way through Congress, we do have billions of federal and state broadband funding that's already been appropriated. The $9.3 billion of RDOF, the Rural Digital Opportunity Funds, were awarded on December 7th and continue to work its way through the FCC's long-form application process. We expect RDOF approvals to be announced by the FCC in tranches, beginning with the fiber-based projects the first to come out. The first announcement should be at any time. We've actually a little surprised they haven't started already. The FCC still has not issued the contract for a vendor for the broadband mapping to begin the process of identifying all broadband serviceable locations by US geocode. As a result, the earliest we're going to see more accurate and granular data is not till later next year, which is going to delay the second round of the RDOF auctions. We are starting to see RUS Reconnect awards in the form of grants for the second round, with two recent issued fiber to home builds. NTI will begin receiving proposals for the public-private grant program in mid-August and the tribal grant program on September 1st. With respect to the American Rescue Plan Act, local block grants, many states have adopted legislation to fund broadband deployment. It's an exciting time for industry, and we are at the beginning of a major fiber investment cycle that'll make a positive societal impact for generations to come. Switching over to our conference, which is incredibly exciting. So our 2021 Fiber Connect conference and our Fiber Broadband Association's 20th anniversary are only a few weeks away, where we'll be meeting in person in Nashville. As I reported at the end of the first quarter, we moved our conference from Dallas to Nashville and pushed out the dates from early June to July 25th to 28th. We did this we're trying to handicap when, COVID situation will allow for in-person conference, and this has turned out to be a fantastic decision, as we've already surpassed every target and metric that we had set, and we will have record attendance. This year's conference will be our best ever on every measure. We'll be kicking off on Sunday, July 25th, with 3 outstanding workshops. The conference officially starts on Monday, July 26th, with over 150 speakers and over 50 sessions and 6 educational tracks. So it's a ton of content and it's going to have great attendance. On the exhibition floor, we're going to be able to celebrate our 20th anniversary, and we'll have a evolution of fiber to the home innovation zone, which will highlight our progress in the industry, milestones we've achieved, and where we're headed in the future. So I look forward to seeing everyone there in person. On the workforce development front, we've made excellent progress during the quarter with our efforts to develop optics, our accredited fiber optic technician training program. The course development will be completed by the conference, and we've been meeting almost daily with the Department of Labor to ensure that we have a nationally recognized program. I want to thank Mark Boxer from OFS and our board, along with Brendan O'Boyle and Gene Scott, as well as the members of our deployment specialists and education subcommittees. In addition to Deb Kish from our FBA staff, who's on all their hard work for developing this program. I would also like to thank Larry Johnson for his long hours of hard work on the course development. Our next steps is going to be able to launch this program nationwide with community colleges, high schools, and veterans that are entering the private sector. The future for fiber is bright, and this program will ensure that we have highly skilled workforce that we need to see it to completion. On membership engagement, I'm pleased to announce that we've added almost 30 new member companies during the quarter. That's a lot, 30 new member companies, including Windstream and Harmonic as premier members. We ended the second quarter with 51% of our members comprised of network operators, and 49% represent the supply side of our fiber industry. Our membership engagement continues to grow with high levels of participation with each of the Fiber Broadband Association committees and working groups. The Public Policy Committee, led by Men Moncrief from C-SPAR, has been highly active on a number of state and federal advocacy initiatives. The Technology Committee, led by John George of OSS, recently issued its white paper on the rural digital divide, and will issue white papers on fiber to the home versus wireless and fiber to the home versus LEO satellites before our conference. Our Public Officials Working Group, led by Bob Knight of Harrison Edwards and Kim McKinley of Utopia, continue to grow beyond 100 communities spread across 29 states and growing. Our Women in Fiber Steering Committee, which includes Jessica Sufolo, Magellan Advisors, Alexa Edens from KGP, Holly Russer of Graybar, and Tanya Kanzuski of Duraline, as well as Kim Hartwell of Corning, and led by our FBA staff, Trish Ehlers, has been preparing for our popular Women in Fiber luncheon during our conference that will be featuring a keynote address from Jennifer Fritz, the head of North American Telecom and Digital Infrastructure at Green Hills and Company. The Education Subcommittee, led by Gene Scott of the city of Wilson, North Carolina, has diligently working through all the details of our certified fiber to the home professional exam and associated documents. This has been very tedious work, and I really appreciate the team's diligence on that. The Deployment Specialist Committee, led by Brendan O'Boyle from Preform Line Products, has been working closely with Mark Boxer and the Education Subcommittee on our new optics fiber optic technician training and certification program. I would also like to welcome Kimberly Biddy from EPB as our new chair of the Marketing Committee. And finally, I'm sure that Joseph Jones, JJ from Montrac, and the Conference Committee will be looking forward to a wildly successful Fiber Connect conference this month. So I'd like to thank all our committee members for their hard work and success over the quarter. It's exciting to see all the wonderful progress as we move our industry forward. So moving to LATAM, our Latin America chapter, under the leadership of Nelson Sato from Furukawa Electric, and FBA LATAM Director Edna Prus, finished the quarter with an incredibly successful LATAM virtual conference with over 2,000 registered attendees that achieved 144% of their revenue target, which is great news for our LATAM chapter. Let's also extend a special thank you to our LATAM board, Lisa Poe from Corning, and our LATAM Marketing Committee, led by Eduard Juarez from Fuco Telecom, and Luis Enrique Fechner, Furukawa Electric, for their outstanding work to pull together this successful event. LATAM also added 8 new members so far in 2021 and is working to launch their new network operator training program. And we're planning to hold another LATAM virtual event in the fall to follow on our success we just had. From an operational perspective, in addition to our tremendous success in growing our membership this quarter, we're preparing for an upcoming conference. The team has also been keenly focused on strengthening our operations across the board. Our successful membership growth are results of our staff's effort to optimize inbound membership requests, increase outbound recruitment efforts, and improve membership satisfaction and retention. Our webinars and weekly Fiber for Breakfast audiences continue to grow, with registration and attendance nearly doubling year over year. This success has attracted sponsorships from both our webinar and new email blast programs. The number of our webinars this quarter increased 50%, and we significantly increased registrations from our social media promotions, with the majority coming from LinkedIn. The Fiber Broadband Association's also building our custom research and survey practice under the leadership of Debbie Kish, our Fiber Broadband Association's Vice President of Research. Debbie launched a global work from home survey and has been working with the leadership of the Fiber Council Global Alliance, the FCGA, and she published the results of this important study called The Future Work, Analyzing Global Broadband Trends. You can go to our website and download that white paper. And then on July 13th, which is tomorrow at the recording of this, we're having a global webinar. So we're holding one from the European zone, and then one a little bit later in the day, kind of in the North America, Latin America area. So please register for that webinar if you haven't already. So this is part of Debbie's goal to build a library of market resources that can help advance the market and address emerging issues as the market evolves, and highlights the strength of fiber as the optimal and clear economic choice for broadband deployment. As mentioned earlier, Debbie's been working closely with the Technology Committee to publish white papers on the rural digital divide, fiber versus fixed wireless, and a number of research papers currently in development. And I would be remiss if I did not mention the tremendous support from our strategic partners and their respective team. Obviously, Tom Cohen's top of the list from Kelly Dry. He's our regulatory attorney and general counsel, and it does amazing work for us on a day in, day out basis. Also, our lobbyist team, Washington, D.C. lobbyist team of Steve Perry and Kim Bayless of Perry Bayless, have done an amazing job with us on all the, the active bills on the Hill, as well as working with the administration on the infrastructure package. And Jeff Cavadias and his team at Cavadias Hall worked closely with our treasurer, Joe Jensen from Corning, to provide oversights of our finances. And then Rich Williams and his team at Connect2 Communications provide our PR, and Mike Render. I want to really highlight Mike Render of RBA as our strategic research partner. Mike has done an amazing job with us on a number of our research projects over the years and our annual fiber survey. So what's coming up? So our key focus over the next quarter is, I'll just kind of bullet these out. So first and foremost, we've got to execute a super strong 2021 Fiber Connect conference here in July. This has been, we subsidize 70% of our membership dues through the conference, so it's really important that we get this off to an amazing start this year, and so far it's looking great. And then as we go to this conference, we also want to secure 70% of our exhibition commitments for our 2022 conference. So while we have everybody there, we can see the excitement. We want to make sure that we get everybody signed up for next year. And then, as we move this broadband infrastructure plan forward, we want to continue to drive bipartisan support to make sure that the $65 billion of funding gets approved and gets out to our members so we can really connect all Americans to fiber. And then to be able to have the boots on the ground to make sure that deployment happens, we want to launch our optics accredited fiber optic technician program. And then we just published our global work from home study, as I mentioned, that Debbie's been working on. And then this week we're executing global webinars across the world to talk about that, the future of work study. And then part of our efforts here is to not just rely on the conference for our main revenue source, but to continue to diversify our revenue streams and expand our members' services. And then finally, we have a very aging association management system, an AMS platform, and so we need to be able to, after the conference, now put some focus on researching and securing a new AMS platform. So as we enter, the third quarter, I remain extremely excited about the tremendous opportunity in front of our industry as a whole and each of us individually as members. The Fiber Broadband Association has made great strides in gaining national and global visibility as the voice of fiber broadband. We'll continue to work with administration, Congress, internet service providers, and the communities across the nation to accelerate the deployment of fiber broadband networks to ensure digital equity, enable every community to leverage the economic and societal benefits that only fiber can deliver. So again, I want to thank you all as members for all your support, and I feel like we're making really great progress. I'm really proud of the team for what we've done this quarter, and I know that we're off to a fantastic third quarter with the conference and everything going on. So I look forward to seeing you in a few short weeks in Nashville, be able to give you a big hug and let's move this industry forward. So thank you very much. Gary Bolton, Fiber Broadband Association.